Group runs can be really good to develop your fitness, either whether it's in a running club or whether it's going out running with friends. You're making an appointment, so it's easier to be motivated and stick with that appointment and get out for your training sessions. If you're finding it difficult to get motivated, perhaps in dark, wet evenings, where it can be a bit tricky to force yourself out of the door, or even on a long run on a Sunday, perhaps, where if it's raining, you might be more tempted to sit in and have another cup of coffee and watch telly for a bit longer than you should, and then time will have run away with you and you don't have time to do your long run. So having that appointment can be really useful. And also having some social aspects to your training is one of the main reasons that a lot of people go out running and enjoy that social aspect of the sport. It's certainly something that I've always enjoyed, both as a coach and as an athlete. But there are pros and cons to running in a group. It's very unlikely that you're going to be at exactly the right pace for you, so you have to make some compromises. It might be that the people you're running with are a bit fitter than you, and as a consequence you're going to have to accept that you're going to have to run a bit faster than you might really want to do. That can be good, because if it's just a little bit faster, it can build up your fitness and your toughness, and you can develop your fitness that way, but you have to work it into your training program and plan accordingly. So you would need to be well rested before the group run, and also have some time to rest afterwards. It might be that the people that you want to run with are slower than you, and that can quite often happen. And that can be a really nice situation, actually, because well, you can probably bring your experience to the group and you can teach them a few things, which is nice to do. But also it means that you can schedule your easy runs, and by staying with the group, you're forced not to get carried away and run too hard. And that can be a really important and valuable thing to have. It's not perfect for you, but there's a very big margin of acceptability in a easy endurance type run. You're just really trying to stay below a certain pace. You're not trying to push things along in most cases. And then you can do your hard sessions either on your own or with in a smaller group that's much more compatible to doing that type of session. If you're running with a club, then it's worth talking to the organisers or other more experienced runners to make sure what the policy is, and also make sure you can get into an appropriate group. If there are several groups, it's often there'll be a faster group, a medium group and a beginner's group. And some of the groups may stick together and wait for you if you get dropped and left and not leave you behind. But the faster groups might split up, it might become more competitive. And in that situation, if you're not able to keep up, you could get left or lost. And even if it's only split up for a few minutes, if there's a turn that you miss, then you could be off on your own, and that's not a nice situation to be in, and it spoils the whole experience for you. So check out that policy. It's often a good idea to join a group that's a little bit slower than you, so that you can use that for a more controlled run, an easier pace, your endurance runs, and then you can do your harder training on your own. Alternatively, a lot of clubs have an interval session. Might be a track session or a hill session in the winter at this time of year in the Northern Hemisphere. And these can be great to work as a group because they naturally come back together. It means that the faster runners get a bit more rest than the slow runners in a lot of cases, or things can be worked out so that the faster runners run a little bit further. But that's all dependent on the club coach and how they work the session. But it does mean that you can just jog to the start of it, warm up together, do a few strides together. Strides are faster efforts that you usually do to get yourself used to running faster before an interval session. And then you can do the interval workout together, and it'll be set up so that it caters for a variety of abilities. And then everybody's tired afterwards, so you can jog back and chat sociably, and hopefully, like a lot of clubs, go out for a beer or something afterwards. And then you can get to know your friends that you've been training with. And that's one of the wonderful things about sport, endurance sport and things like that. So you've probably gathered there are a lot of benefits from training with a club or with training with friends, but you just have to work it into your weekly schedule. I hope that works for you, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.